Hi guys, this is a mini lesson on text-based evidence. Text-based evidence means that when you are answering a question after you have read something, you are going to use the text to support your idea. That way, what you're saying has more meaning. If you'll notice, there are 6 clipboards here. You begin your answer with what the text says, like according to the text, or the author stated that, or on page blank it said. These are the beginning statements for what the text said. And then you follow it with one of these clipboard examples on the bottom with what you think. For instance, or from the reading I learned that, or for example. That way you use the text as proof of what you think. Why is text evidence even important? Text evidence supports your answer to a question. It also helps explain your thinking. When do I use text evidence? Use text evidence when explaining your answer, either verbally or in writing. Here are some examples of how I can use text evidence to answer this question about what is the problem in the story. Now, these answers are based on a book that you're getting ready to listen to called Baseball Saved Us by Ken Makizuki. Wanted to make sure I read it right. You're going to be listening to this story and then answering a question of your own, but I wanted to show you how first. What is the problem in the story? Answer the question with text-based evidence using each different sentence starter below. So I'm going to show you what this might look like. What is the problem in the story? From the reading, I learned that in the Japanese internment camps, all they did was stand or sit around. Notice I answered with a quotation from the actual book. That is what text evidence is. Or I could say, according to the text, soldiers with guns made sure we stayed there, and the man in the tower saw everything we did, no matter where we were. Again, I'm using an actual quote from the book itself. On page 3, it said, dust storms came and got sand in everything. And nobody, sorry, I'm having trouble, nobody could see a thing. For instance, the families had to use the bathroom, everybody else, instead of one at a time like at home. The author stated that it was so hot in the daytime and so cold at night. For example, families had to eat with everybody else too. These are 6 examples of how to use the sentence starters in an answer using text-based evidence. The next slide that you can see is what challenges did the characters face in this story? I'm going to show you how to use this Google slide so that you will know how to complete your assignment. You will have a slide very similar to this, but it will have a different question. Your question will be, what do you think will happen next in the story and why? Now, you're not going to have the actual book in front of you, so you're going to have to try to remember what the book said, which is a little bit different than what I'm doing because I'm using actual quotes from the book itself. So we're going to do the best we can right now. What challenges did the characters face in this story? I'm going to use the starter according to the text. That basically means the book said, but it sounds a little smart. According to the text, soldiers with guns made sure we stayed there, and the man in the tower saw everything we did, no matter where we were. I would say that's a pretty big challenge. Make the words bigger so we can see. Spell my word right. Now, what I want to show you is this. I'm going to take this little yellow box and I'm going to color my sentence starter. That's my sentence starter. Now I'm going to take this little orange box and I'm going to color my quotation mark and my final quotation mark. Now, before I use my quotation marks, I had to put a comma. So I'm going to take this little blue square and color my comma. I always have to have ending punctuation, so I'm going to take my green square and color my ending punctuation. Now these blue lines, I'm going to put underneath what the story actually said. Now I only have 4. So I'm going to click on one of these blue lines. I'm going to drag it, if I can get a hold of it. I'm going to drag this blue line underneath these words that I actually said, that I actually got from the story itself. I'm going to make it go all the way underneath. This is the information that came from the actual story. It's kind of hard to grab the very end of it. This is just to show me the different parts to a text-based evidence question. Now, when you're working on your story, if you can't do this part, because it is a little bit hard, it's okay. You just type the words and do it like this. The question you'll be working on is, what do you think will happen next in this story and why? Don't leave out the why. What do you think will happen next? With my sentence starters, I might be able to say, the author stated that, and finish the sentence. And then after that, you would say, so I think blah, blah, blah will happen next. That would be a good use of text-based evidence. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to re-watch this video. after you've listened to the story to help you answer the questions. I hope you have a great day.